Okay, can you hear me? Maybe someone type in the chat box if you can. And can you see the screen? It should say student involvement, weekend, I think it says student involvement. Getting nervous, nobody's typing if they can hear me. Student involvement and weekends on campus. Yes, thanks Jamie, my VIP is back. Right. All right, well, welcome back. We've never done 2 parent hours in a row, so this is exciting. But as we said last week, we are doing the topics that came back from the feedback, things that parents were particularly interested in. Last week we talked a bit about the room selection. This week, or today, we're going to talk about student involvement and weekend activities and things on campus. So we really have a menu of options and opportunities to talk about tonight. So you might find that some of them really resonate with you and your family and your student, and some might be like, oh, you know, my child would never be interested in that. But, you know, trying to kind of give you a nice taste or variety of all the things happening on campus. So I won't go through all of the the people that are sitting in the room with me tonight. But we not only have, you know, the guests sitting here, but we also collected some information from some other folks around campus who couldn't make it. Again, just to give you more of a variety of events and activities and things that are going on campus. I am Jessica Nicklin. I think I'm also an MVP, along with James Brino for making most of these parent hours over the course of the past year. And I'll let our guests introduce themselves as we go through the presentation. If at any point you have trouble hearing us, you know, go ahead and write in the chat box. As you know, we mute the participants just to reduce the background noise. But if you struggle to hear us or you need someone to speak up, just let us know. So I think we're going to kick off with our Office of Student Engagement and Inclusion. So I will pass things off to Fallon and Torshaya.
Hello, everyone. My name is Torshaya Anderson. I am the Executive Director for the Office of Student Engagement and Inclusion, where we are a brand new office on campus. We came together, 5 offices came together this past July, and the goal was really to connect students directly and succinctly to the student experience. We had, within those 5 offices, 5 areas, many of us were doing the same things, so we wanted to pull together an experience where we can connect students in a way where we're a one-stop shop for the students. So I'm very excited to lead that office and provide a fuller experience for our students here on campus.
And for anyone who's been to the new Center for Student Success, the Office of Student Engagement and Inclusion is right in that same hallway. So really trying to create that student experience in Jaguar Student Union.
Do you want to talk about some of our programs?
Yes. So good evening, everyone. My name is Fallon, like Jimmy Fallon. I am the Assistant Director for Student Engagement here on campus. So like Torshaya said, we have about 5 offices that came together, and for the spring semester, here are some weekend programs and events, and the list will continue to go on as the students continue to program throughout the semester. Some of our collaborative events include the International Festival, where we work with the International Center for a large-scale event, and we'll have like different artists and musicians and bands that will come through, and it's a night and festivity where we taste different foods and cultures from other countries around the world. Our largest event as well that we sponsor is the fashion show and the after show celebration. That's a fundraiser for the book fund, and the book fund is held out of our office, where we will pay for students' most expensive book, so they're able to receive 1 free book while they're here free of charge, and they can submit that through our office. We also take the end of the school year to recognize all of our student leaders at our Student Leadership Awards. So that usually ends at the end of the spring semester. Some of the other events that we have throughout the semester are large-scale ones, educational programs, some blues and some jazz, curls and coils. That's a new event where we're going to discuss natural hair and the different curl patterns in hair and how that relates and how we're all connected in that way. Some of our social events include karaoke, open mic night, headphone disco. We have a Cat Underground series where we are starting to book local bands to play in one of our program spaces called the Hawk's Nest. And we do have spring weekend where it's just a day where students are able to kind of like take a day off in the middle of the spring semester on a Saturday and just enjoy carnival rides, entertainment, music on the lawn. Some other crafting programs include melted crayon, and we also assist in taking the students off campus to see the Yard Ghost game, Broadway shows. Depending on what movies are coming out, we'll take them on the Cat on the Go movies experience, and any type of end of year showcases that the students will have, our office will be a part of.
Wow, so I'll pause you. There's a lot here.
Yes.
So now I'm looking at our student representatives. Any feedback or experiences you guys have had on anything, that's on this list or anything that's not on this list that you want to share?
I'll start. I've been to a bunch of the events that are listed up here. I've been to the Yard Goats baseball game, the spring concert, the spring weekend. I'll just emphasize, the point that it's a great chance for me and my friends to do something outside of the classroom or outside of our regular routine, and also to meet new people. So, just going off of that, you can't really go wrong with any of these events here, and I recommend them to all my friends every time that they pop up.
Yeah, definitely. I ditto that. I think all of these are a great way to meet new people, and I went to a headphone disco, and it was kind of a weird thing going into it because you're not hearing everybody else's music, only your own music. So it was kind of strange at the beginning, and people were dancing, but you had your own headphones on, and some could be dancing to different music than you are. So it was kind of strange, but it really was a cool experience. Yeah.
I think you guys summed it up really well. A lot of fun things going on.
And what do you recommend for someone, so some of you might be thinking, your child is shy, are these kinds of things welcoming? How would you respond to something like that?
So to continue to speak about the headphone disco, even though it's technically a party experience because you're listening to music, it's also very personal because the headphones are on your head, and I tend to identify myself as an introvert, and with the headphones on, I don't even realize I'm dancing, and then the next thing you know, you're dancing with people that are around you that are listening to the same stations. So we do provide a lot of events that are good for both the extrovert and the introvert.
Great.
And this is just our contact information. So again, Torshea Anderson, Executive Director of the office.
And Fallon Roberson-Roby, Assistant Director.
And you can reach us via our email or by phone.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm going to present some of the slides from our athletics group. Thank you. So I'll be presenting on Hartford Athletics. So we have 17 Division I sports programs. I would say all of them, except for 3, have a men's and women's team. Baseball, softball, and volleyball are both just one. But our basketball teams, men and women, cross country, both men and women, lacrosse, both men and women. Soccer, track and field are both. We also have indoor and outdoor track. So the best way to get involved in our athletics going to games are always free with a student ID for students. So the best way to see which games are on and which sports are in season is hartfordhawks.com or any of the links on the right side of that screen there. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, they're always posting about which games are on. Right now it's the basketball season, so men's and women's basketball are playing. There's a game on Wednesday night, and then there's a game on Saturday. Wednesday is women, and then Saturday is men.
And the pep band plays, and there's cheerleaders, and so even if you're not an athlete, there's just so many different ways to get involved.
Yep. And again, all of these are free to students with a student ID. Some recent success, we've had great success with our basketball teams, both men and women's, as well as our men's lacrosse team. They won our conference, I think, 2 years ago, and baseball also won conference last year or 2 years ago. Oh, there we go. So women's soccer, track and field, baseball, women's golf have all done phenomenal for the past couple of years. And along with the success on the field, there's also success in academics. So the America East Conference has these cups here. I think they're just called the
Harrison Cup.
The Harrison
Yep.
Cup, that's right. And our athletes have won 6 out of the last 8 titles.
And that's for outstanding GPA, so the highest GPA for student athletes.
All of our games, both basketball, lacrosse, baseball, they're all aired on ESPN3. And we actually have ESPN3 trailer where students work and shoot and direct the games, and it goes right to ESPN. So if you're ever interested in watching any of our sports teams, please log into ESPN3 through your cable subscription or any of the apps that ESPN has, and you're more than happy to watch our Hawks play.
And just like seeing these and all these things keep popping in my head that if your student is a math major, there's opportunity to do the statistics for sports games. And you don't have to necessarily join a club or be an athlete to participate and get good experiences and be part of everything going on. So like all these just things keep popping in my head as we talk that you can find your niche.
So the next couple slides are going to be showing some pictures of our recreation center. So the gym that the students are able to use actually recently got renovated. So this is a picture of the floor before the renovation. And here are some pictures of during renovation. You can see that they are ripping out a lot of the old walling and things like that. And there used to be racquetball courts along the back wall here on both sides. They were able to tear it out, and now it's going to be an open area for more equipment and more space. And here is the finished product with more room for weights, more room for more treadmills and ellipticals and things like that. So on an average day, you're going to see hundreds of students in here working out, and it's open, I believe, from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. But all the hours are posted online.
And also free for students, right?
Yep. Here are, again, some employment opportunities with athletics. There's always jobs available for students on campus. In the sports center, they're always looking for people to make sure games operate smoothly, making sure cameras are being operated, again, with the ESPN3 telecast, as well as marketing and communications. Here is a contact information for the Associate Athletics Director for External Relations, Craig.
And he works now out of the Center for Student Success, so it's a really great opportunity for athletics and for the Student Success Center to be working together to share these common goals. So you can always email the Center for Student Success if you have any questions as well. You want to keep going?
Yeah, I will keep going.
You're doing a great job.
So here are some upcoming International Center events. So we briefly touched on these as well, but here are some dates. Saturday, February 22nd is the BSU Fashion Show, just like Fallon said. It's a really cool event in Lincoln Theater, and I encourage all of your students to attend. And then Sunday, the next day, there's going to be an International Mass. More information will be coming with that soon, so make sure your students check their emails and social media, make sure they're following all of our different Instagram pages and Snapchat pages and things like that, so they can get that information. And one of the biggest events that the International Center puts on every year is the annual International Festival. So this year it's on Saturday, February 29th. It is the 35th annual International Festival. It is such a crazy event. All you can eat buffet, foods from around the world. There's performances, music. It's such a great event. Have you ever been?
I haven't, I've heard great.
You have, yeah.
I'm
So it is,
attending this year.
yeah, it is a great event.
It's only
Probably
$5.
over 300 people in attendance.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I went last year. It was a lot of fun, and the food was amazing. So good.
Yeah. So moving right along, there are hundreds of performances every single year from the Hart School of Music, dance and theater. So here is just a snapshot, of the Hart School calendar that says all of the different programs that are going on each and every day. So this is actually from today, so there you can see that there's a couple of events even this week and this weekend that students can attend. So the link here, if you go to hartford.edu and you search Hart School, you can definitely find this calendar, and there's a more up-to-date list of performances and such throughout the entire school year. And we can copy that link into the text box a little bit later. And then also we have a student life calendar, which gets information from all of our clubs and organizations on campus. And here are some events that are happening, select events happening this week that are going to be happening Monday, and then Thursday and Friday, and there's Saturday, Sunday events as well. So here's the link. This one's a little bit easier to get to. But for example, resume boot camp and career fair, things like that. There's always things going on, even during the day and at night as well. Things like the dinners here. There's always things going on campus. And this is the student life calendar they can get to. And this is really cool. So SGA has been working for the past couple months on a spring club fair. So it's actually going to be this Wednesday from 5 to 7 in the volleyball gym at the Sports Center. So the Sports Center is the big building here, the Rich Family Pavilion. And inside there's an auxiliary gym and there will be signs for your students. So if they don't know where it is, say just walk into the main lobby, there will be signs directing students to the correct place. And it's from 5 to 7. We have over 65 clubs that will be in attendance. We'll have about 10 community service organizations that will be looking for volunteers for the community. So if your student is not really interested in any of the clubs that are offered on campus and they don't want to start one, they can get involved in the community. And then there are also going to be a couple of departments. So study abroad will be there, and I believe our career center will be there. So there's going to be not just clubs and organizations, but other opportunities as well. And then after that, so at 7 p.m., like I said, there's a basketball game, and we're going to be giving out prizes and giveaways and things like that at the game as well as during the club fair. So please encourage your students to attend, even if they are involved in on campus. They can always get involved in other things if they're interested. I think that is all we have.
So that was a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm gonna put my panelists on the spot and ask, when you hear the statement, there's nothing going on campus, or there's nothing happening on the weekends here, or there's nothing happening at night, what would you say to that? Because that's something, we've seen in some of the chats and, has come up. That what would your response be?
I can start it off from the student perspective. I can say it's not hard for me to find stuff to do. I know this past weekend, the Residence Hall Association hosted a trip to Boston, and so me and I think about 50 other students, we went to Boston and we spent a large portion of the day there, and we watched the Celtics game, and then we got back, and it wasn't too bad. It was $40 for transportation there and the tickets to the game, which are usually at least twice as much And so there's stuff like that going on. On top of that, there's 120 something odd clubs on campus that you can join, and you can check that out actually at the club fair. And they host events every single weekend, if not multiple. And so for me, the problem becomes trying to actually divide my time throughout the week to go to these events. Not that there's nothing to do. Sometimes I'm looking for more downtime.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I think if you're looking for something to do and you have kind of an adventurous spirit and you want to kind of try something new, there's always things going on. It's just finding them and being connected to, example, the calendar or Instagram or Facebook where things are posted. Because if you're just going to sit there and not really look for things to do, you're not going to find anything. You need to actually actively look and say, oh yeah, there's an event tonight, I should go to it, and kind of step outside your comfort zone. And I've done that so many times of events that I don't think I would ever have thought of going to, and just saying, actually, I'm going to go. Let me bring a friend and let's try it. And then come to find out that it was a really cool experience and something that I would continue doing week after week.
Like bingo night.
Bingo night.
Before college, I never thought I'd enjoy bingo, but every Friday, if there's bingo and Conover, it's a great way to spend your Friday night with friends. And like this past weekend, there's always music, art events going on, like the opera, which I didn't think I would enjoy, but it was absolutely beautiful. So, always things going on.
Yeah, there's definitely always things that go on. I would encourage students to push themselves outside of their comfort zone, because sometimes you connect to the one organization that you're interested in, and really just if folks stop by either the Student Government Association in GSU on the first floor, or our new office, the Office of Student Engagement and Inclusion, we can really tell you about all the things that are happening, and we can direct you to the calendar as well.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, so how do students find out about all this stuff, mostly? What would you recommend?
So the calendar, which there's the overall university calendar, and then like specific calendars, that's a good way. Social media tends to be where I find most of the information that I'm looking for. So whether it's the UHart page or like a club page or student government, being an SGA representative, like I'm going to say that, but there's like a bunch of different social media outlets that regularly post, if not daily, like what's coming up.
And we send out the hot talk, that's a lot of your emails.
Yeah, tell them about Hot Talk.
Well, hot talk is they send, it's, okay, I don't know. So it's a list of flyers, basically, like clubs submit flyers for their events or fundraisers going on that weekend, and you can scroll through it and check what's going on. Like I saw the international festival in the Hot Talk this week, and it reminded me to get my ticket, so you can find like every event there.
Yeah, and that goes out every Monday, normally by 2 or 3 o'clock. And that goes out to every single student's email. So you can always remind your students to check Hawk Talk. You say, oh, what was in Hawk Talk today? And they could most likely tell you if they were able to look at it. So sometimes it does go to a different folder in their email. So tell them to make sure they're checking their other folder, because sometimes instead of going to the focus inbox, it goes to the other inbox. It's just the way that the Outlook app is set up. They don't have it turned off. So make sure to tell them to look in the other folder.
Yeah, and I apologize if someone already said this, but UNotes, if you, like the first thing that pops up when you go to the Hartford webpage is usually UNotes. We also get an email daily just saying like updates on the university. So not all of it is like events, but I'd say a good portion of them are events like that will be upcoming, or maybe planning ahead for the semester, or just like also general information that students should know. That's all in UNotes.
Yeah, and one thing coming up in the next couple months, so by next fall, so when your students are sophomores, we're going to have a brand new software platform for those students. And it's a web-based platform similar to like hartford.edu, but it's called Presence. And what it is going to be, it's going to be a place where all of the events that clubs and organizations are going to be putting on are going to be listed. You're going to be able to browse clubs, organizations, different departments on campus to get connected to. You're able to join clubs by joining clubs email list, being able to see clubs flyers and documents and things like that. And then also you'll be able to track some of the events that you go to. So for example, you go to a community service event, in the actual web application and app, you'll be able to see that you volunteered for 2 or 3 hours for this one community service project, for example. And then over your time as you're a junior and you're a senior, you'll be able to see how many hours you've volunteered total. And that's a great way and a great thing to put on your resume and give to employers if you're applying for jobs and things like that. So it's coming soon. So by the fall of 2020, so next semester, it will be up and running, and it'll be a great way for students to see everything that's going on in one central location.
Looking forward to that.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll pause for a minute. Oh, Jamie.
It is called, so we don't have a specific name for it yet. We might be changing the name just and make it more UHart related, but right now it's called Presence.
That's the product, yeah.
Yep.
So we'll take a pause and let you see if you have any questions. Go ahead and type them in the chat box. We were just regrouping to see if there was anything major that we missed. And I was just thinking, as a former faculty member, you know, I have to also mention that if your student, you know, doesn't really feel that like rah, you know, I want to join a club or I want to go to something, you know, or isn't as extroverted, there are a lot of ways to feel connected to community and the campus. And I was talking to some students recently, like now is a great time with one semester under their belt to talk to a faculty member about doing research with them, considering the honors program and becoming engaged in that way, getting a job on campus. So there's a lot of ways to be involved and be part of the community without necessarily having to join a club or, you know, go to bingo, even though that sounds really fun and I might go, or, you know, something that's more social or artistic. You know, lots of ways, you know, and it doesn't have to be one or the other. I mean, the students that are here are part of a lot of academic, you know, organizations as well as social, so it's okay to dabble a little bit. But I think this club fair really will be a great way to see a lot of different things. And we ended up deciding to do it again because we have a huge club fair in the fall. But I think that, you know, a week into the semester or so, students are so worried about protecting their time, which is smart, but that they don't want to overextend and join, you know, too many clubs or get too involved. And we figured that after a full semester under their belt and getting a better sense of their boundaries and what they can handle, that doing this again would be a nice idea. So we're excited for that.
And just to add on to the bingo that happens the first Friday of every month, I am a guest caller this month. So the team of students, Dean Isaacs was a guest caller last month, and they asked me to be a guest caller this month. So tell your students if they want to meet me, they can go to bingo this Friday, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard Dean Isaacs talking about organizing a big trivia night, among other things. So yeah, it's just following UNOTES, following the campus calendar, Instagram if they use Instagram, and other more modern young people social media outlets that I don't even know what you guys are using, I feel like. It's just a great way to know what's going on. And that Hawk Talk is actually really cool, so I like that a lot. So you might be our easiest audience to date. But of course, if you have any questions, feel free to email us. I can send the slides. I'll put my email address in if you'd like the slides at the end. And then the recording will be posted probably sometime tomorrow. So if you want to, oh, geez, sorry. You can tell I'm tired. I don't know who has nicklin@gmail.com. Not me. nicklin@hartford.edu. We'll send you the slides and the video will be up if you want to share it with your students. So if there are no other questions, we'll say goodnight and give you a half hour back. Everyone's tired from the Super Bowl, maybe? Staying up late? Thanks, Jamie. Glad to have you back. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you.